Hey everyone, Rascally Rasmus here. Today we're going to talk about 14 things I wish I knew when I first started playing Sunhaven. So let's get straight into it. The first tip is go exploring. Explore stuff, interact with stuff. There's a lot of things in Sunhaven, and I'm going to show you some of them. There's probably a lot more that I don't know about. The first one is you can interact with this fountain down here by Catherine. I'm right here outside our farm to the right. And if you interact with this and keep interacting with it, you will eventually be getting this necklace, which is a very nice start. It won't have the spell damage. That's a late game perk. Another thing you can interact with every once in a while is this card right here. When you interact with it, you will sometimes get a potato seeds for free, and this can also be a very nice start early in the game. Similarly, this picnic table right over here, you can interact with it and you will sometimes get a loaf of bread. I guess I have gotten one recently, so I will not be getting one now. And these birds right here outside the general store, you can interact with them and you'll get wheat seeds. Also every once in a while, so very worthwhile doing. Up here by the library, you can interact with these bird statues and they will sometimes give you 20 exploration experience. Here in the town center, you can interact with the fountain. Once a week, it resets every Sunday, I believe, and it will give you 4 mana permanently. So this is very good to do generally every week, so you can build up your mana pool quickly. Over here, just past the tavern, once you've removed the Snakoon, you can go down here. Below, down here in the corner, there will be free honey and jam to get pretty frequently. Don't know exactly how often they reset, but I assume they just take the normal crafting time. Out here to the right in the eastern forest, once you've removed the Snakoon here, you can go up, and up here you can follow the path and you'll find a mana well, which you can also interact with once a week. It resets also every Sunday, and this will give you 5 mana permanently. So this is very worthwhile doing too. You just go up here and the well will be right here. And when you say touch the water, you'll get the 5 mana permanently. In Withergate, you have the popcorn machine and the cotton candy machine. Especially the popcorn machine here is very relevant because the popcorn gives permanent movement speed when you consume it. And that's up here by the carnival area. Once you come to Nelvari, I'd recommend infusing your mana when you're done for the day. It can be done here, these, and they're all over town. Later on, you can also craft them so you can place them on your other farms. It's a very good source of additional mana orbs, and it's basically free because you just use your mana. For tip number 2, I'd recommend trying to get 50 corn as quickly as possible because that will allow you to do the quest up here, which is right above the tavern. The tavern is down here, so just up here at this path, you can interact with this statue. And he will give you the quest for giving him 50 corn. Once you do that, you will get the corn sword. And the corn sword is very powerful. It's essentially the equivalent of an adamantite sword, but you can equip it already at level 10. And it's a very good early game sword. You can see for comparison here with the iron sword, this deals 19 to 25. The iron sword deals 12 to 15. For the third tip, I'd recommend focusing on getting community tokens as quickly as possible. You get these from doing the repeatable quests at the bulletin board, and there's many other sources too. And I'd also recommend that you pick talents that will allow you to get more community tokens, especially this one in exploration. Thankful Neighbors can be a very easy source of community tokens. The community tokens can be spent in the town hall with Bernard, and here you can buy elixirs and stuff that gives you skill points or permanent stat increases. For our fourth tip, I just recommend if you haven't done it already, look at the accessibility settings in Sunhaven. Increasing or decreasing the day length can be very nice, so you can tweak how you play. If it's too difficult, you can toggle the invincible. You can toggle seasonal bosses if you think they're annoying. You can disable all these things. What's also really helpful is that you can disable both seasonal pests and seasonal crop effects. So these are like when the crops start burning in the summer, you don't have to put them out. You don't have to do scarecrows if you disable this, the seasonal pests. For our fifth tip, I'd recommend that you start befriending and romancing characters early on. As you start befriending the characters, they will at some point be giving you their keepsake. And these keepsakes are very, very powerful. You can see this is Mayans, which gives 5% experience and some mana every second, and some health. Once you marry the characters, they will also give you their wedding rings, which are also very powerful. On top of that, it's also very helpful to do it early on because for your birthday, characters you've befriended enough will show up and they will actually give you gifts. So the more characters you befriend before your birthday, the more gifts you'll get for your birthday. Don't stress about picking your starting race and starting profession. The starting profession is just a small bonus, and as for the race, it can be changed as soon as you finish repairing the salon here. You can just walk in and you can interact with Billy, and you can change your look. And sometimes you do need to restart the game for the change look to take effect. And as for the starting profession, I don't really know which one is the best. I personally like taking the one with the chicken because I like getting the free chicken from the start of the game. But yeah, anything you want goes. For the 7th tip, we're going to talk about food. The first 100 times you eat a certain type of food, for the most part at least, they will permanently increase your stats. This stat increase is heavily front-loaded, so you should really be making a lot of different types of food because you really just want to eat every type of food like 10 times or so. After that, it becomes not super worthwhile continuing to eat the food. While it still gives you stat increases, they're relatively small gains. So the tip is diversify what you eat, what you cook in Sunhaven, and try to eat as many different things as possible. For tip number 8, we're going to talk about the combat arena and I believe it's called the Tower of Trials. The combat arena is located here by the mines, and you can go here every Tuesday and every Saturday, and you can choose which level of boss you want to do. I can't fight now because it's a Thursday, but depending on level you fight, you will get rewards. You'll always get some permanent health increases, some permanent mana increases, and at higher levels, you'll also get to choose between either spell damage or attack damage. On top of this, you get some gold and some community tokens, so it's very worthwhile doing this combat arena as soon as you can, every Tuesday and every Saturday. As for the Tower of Trials, you get there by leaving your farm to the left side, so towards Nelvari. You go out here, and you just run straight through the first area, and once you get here, you will go straight through this area. Once you reach this area, you will go up top. And what you want to do is you want to defeat the Slime King, who is located up here. All the way up here through. I figure I just better show it so you can actually find it. So the Slime King is located here. Once you've defeated him, you'll unlock the Tower of Trials, as I hope it's called. Oh, Dungeon of Trials. There are, I believe, 30 floors to fight through. And as you clear those floors, you'll unlock chests over here in this area. And these chests give you very powerful rewards. One of the examples is this one. It's not something you need to equip. It just gives you permanent 5% combat experience increase. Or this one, which gives you permanent 15% critical strike damage. Or permanent 4 defense increase. Or permanent 6% attack speed increase. So it's very worthwhile doing this one as early as you can too. The later floors do get more difficult, but you can pretty early on be doing at least the early floors for some of the stat increases. For tip number 9, we're going to talk about the museum briefly. It's good to finish both the spring crop bundle and the spring fish bundle very early on because obviously they're seasonal, so focus on getting the crops and fish you need for these. It should be said that the grapes are part of the main story quest line, so if you're wondering why you can't get seeds for these, that is why. Also, if you can't find all the seeds, some of the seeds are bought in the store next to the general store, so check both stores for seeds. On top of that, if you're playing co-op, remember that when you finish a bundle, the rewards are dropping at the bundle, so both players need to go near the bundle to get the rewards. Also remember to talk to the front reception guy here and ask him if you've earned any rewards, because you get a lot of rewards from him too. The 10th tip is to get a mount as soon as you can. An early source for a mount could be the finishing this bundle in here in the museum, the large tank. You can catch all these fish in Sunhaven. You can look up on the wiki specifically where each fish is caught, but for the most part you can catch most of them in the ocean. It's not that difficult to finish this whole thing, but it does take some time. Alternatively, you can get a mount from the seasonal vendor, but that requires that you get 800 of these seasonal tokens. You can buy 500 of them, so that brings you quite far along the way, but that will cost you 20,000 gold if you're buying all 500 of them. It's pretty easy to get these seasonal tokens, especially farming and chopping woods is a good source of getting them, so this can also be a good way to get a mount early, but it does take some work. Alternatively, you obviously can wait till you reach either Nelvari and buy one in the mount store, which is here, or in Withergate. For number 11, we're going to talk about multiple farms, and really the tip is just don't stress yourself out, don't stretch yourself too thin trying to manage multiple farms at once. Like, take your time and enjoy each farm. Don't worry about watering the crops. They won't wither if you don't water them. They just won't grow. The only thing here to consider is that, of course, the seasons change. And so if you've planted seasonal crops, you obviously need to make them grow or finish growing before the season ends. Otherwise, they will wither. The same really goes for the quest lines. Like, don't try to do all the quest lines all at once. Just take your time and focus on one quest line and enjoy it. The point is just there's no real stress in Sunhaven other than the seasonal crops and fish, maybe. So yeah, if you want to take a day and go to the mines and don't water your crops, then my recommendation is do that. For tip number 12, we're gonna talk about farming totems. You can obviously make these scarecrows and stuff here at the farmer's table, but you can also make these totems that give experience when you're harvesting crops near them. And so you can get different types of experience. So this can, if you hate the mines, this can be a very good way to get mining experience just from farming if you like farming. These do stack, so you can place them down next to the crop. So the totems can be a pretty good way to help bolster your experience, especially of the things you might be lagging behind on. For tip number 13, I'd suggest crafting a workshop. Workshops are just a very handy way of storing all your crafting machines in one place, and you can have all the chests for storage. The workshop is crafted at the construction table, and it's not very expensive, but it does require some things you can't get like right at the very start of the game, but you can get it pretty early on in the game. For the 14th and final tip, I'd suggest crafting here at the composter both fertilizer and fishing bait. There are various types of both of them, so you can decide which ones you like yourself, but the compost and worms are very, very easy to come by now. Now that you can dig through your neighbor's trash, this is a very good source of this. Just make sure you're not spotted when you dig through it. So you just go search through the trash, and there's some worms. So I just recommend craft this. It's very cheap, and it's just a net benefit to do so. And that's going to be it for this video. If you've enjoyed the video, consider liking and subscribing, of course. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a very nice day.